Hello, my name is Michael Everett. I am a certified athletic trainer and I'm also the baseball softball program coordinator here at TOSH. Today I'm going to teach you what we call the stretch 5. As we do these stretches, ideally we're trying to do them after a proper warm-up. That warm-up can consist of what we call the warm-up 5 that you can find in other videos, or any other band type work that get your shoulder capsule warmed up as you go. The ideal for these stretches is that we're doing 3 different stretches for your shoulder and 2 different stretches for your forearm or wrist. They all should be completed before activity, before you go throw, and ideally after you're done for the day with your activity of throwing or overhead sports. So the first stretch I'm going to show you, we call an anterior capsule stretch. It's going to stretch the front part of your shoulder. So as we do this on a baseball or softball field, it's kind of hard. There's not very many corners. So when we do it on a field, we're looking to take a piece of fence and turn your body so that you're feeling that stretch. Don't go beyond what feels comfortable. For this purpose, we're going to be able to get both shoulders at the same time, so when you can find a corner, it's better. We're going to put both arms against the wall where your palms and your elbows are touching, equal distance from the center. You're going to put one foot in the corner, it doesn't matter which one. You're going to keep your chest tall, and you're going to try to push your sternum into the corner to find a stretch in both shoulders. You're going to push in for 30 seconds, and you're going to repeat this stretch 2 or 3 times. The next stretch I'm going to show you is what we call an inferior capsule stretch. Inferior capsule is underneath the socket in here, so I call it the tickle spot stretch as well. We see this stretch a lot in baseball and softball, or as we throw. We do it almost every time, but most people do it incorrectly. The problem when people do it incorrectly is they pull their elbow behind their head, so the fulcruming of the shoulder actually goes out of the socket, and we don't want to do that. We just want to rotate it in the socket. So ideally, we grab the elbow and we pull it straight behind. So it should be going linearly straight behind your head as you go behind. As we do this stretch, we want to get it to the right position and hold it for 2 to 3 sets of 30 seconds. The next stretch I'm going to show you is what we call the posterior capsule stretch, or sometimes we call it the sleeper stretch. We're trying to get to the back side of your shoulder. As we do this stretch, we start on our back. You're going to have your shoulder at 90 degrees, your elbow at 90 degrees, and we're going to roll over to your side so you're perpendicular to the ground with your scapula, this bone, going straight into the ground, not being underneath you. From here, you're going to put pressure on your arm bones, not on your hand, and you're going to push straight down towards the ground. As you do that, there's a little bit of a teetering that happens, and you try to keep your shoulder flat. Don't let it come off the ground. You want to push your arm down until you feel a stretch in the back of your shoulder. You want to hold that stretch for 2 to 3 sets of 30 seconds. The next stretch I'm going to show you is for your elbows or for your forearms. This one's what we call a flexion stretch. I call it the pinkies together stretch. It starts by putting your pinkies together. You're going to put your fingertips into the ground about 1 foot in front of you. Your butt's going to come up to the air. You're going to push your palms to the floor to where they're flat. They're completely flat. They're touching on both sides. You want your thumbs and your fingers straight. You're going to then, with your elbows straight, just sit your butt back towards the ground or towards your heels until you feel the stretch. If your palms are coming off, you've gone too far. You want to hold this stretch 2 to 3 sets for 30 seconds. The last stretch I'm going to show you is also for your elbow. It's really for the forearm in this area. You're going to feel it in your forearm and maybe in your wrist. We're going to start this stretch by putting your thumbs together. I actually call it the thumbs together stretch. You're going to put your fingers into the ground about 1 foot in front of you. You're going to roll your back of your hands towards the ground to where that is completely touching, and don't let it come off. You're going to take your elbows and bend them as far as you feel comfortable towards the ground. Then you're going to sit back. Then you're going to straighten your elbows until you feel the stretch. Most cases, you're going to feel the stretch right through here. You're going to hold that stretch for 2 to 3 sets of 30 seconds.